It's now 6 p.m. I'd like to call to order the Regional Planning Commission business meeting for Thursday, September 11th, 2025. And I'm pretty sure all of you can remember where you all were 24 years ago on this date. And tonight I'm still thinking about all the thousands that were killed and the firefighters in their faces, they were running towards the danger. And also for Flight 93, those heroes on that flight that probably diverted the plane so there wouldn't be any other casualties. So tonight when we stand, before we do the pledge, I'd like to observe a moment of silence, and then I'll start with the pledge, and you can all join in. So let us stand. Sarah, I'll now come to you for roll call and determination of quorum.
Mr. Peterman?
Present.
Mr. Servan?
Present.
Mrs. Karcher is absent. Mr. Galfrey?
Here.
Mr. Mills?
Here.
Mr. Davis?
Present.
Mr. Jester?
Here.
So you have 6 present. You do have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Before you, commissioners, you see the agenda for tonight's meeting. If there's no changes, I'll entertain a motion in a second.
So move. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Sarah, call the commission.
Mr. Peterman?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Servan?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Galfrey?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Mills?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Davis?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Jester?
Yes to approve.
So you have 6 yeas in favor of approving tonight's agenda.
Also, commissioners, you have in front of you the minutes for July 10th, 2025. If there's no additions or corrections to them, I will also entertain a motion in a second.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Sarah, call the commission.
Mr. Peterman?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Servan?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Galfrey?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Mills?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Davis?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Jester?
Yes to approve.
So you have 6 yeas in favor of approving the minutes of July 10th.
Next down the list tonight, you can see the levy court actions. As you can see, they didn't exactly follow our ways, but we made our recommendations like we felt fit. So if you have any questions about that, you can see Sarah at the end of the meeting. Old business, we have none. New business. First on new business tonight is CZ-25-03, John Nichols Jr. Request to amend the zoning map from AR Agriculture Residential to BG General Business, located inside the Growth Zone Overlay District. I don't think there was any opposition to this, and the owner gave a great presentation. We appreciate that. Having said that, I'll now turn it over to Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the Regional Planning Commission recommend approval of ordinance LC-25-15, amending the zoning map from AR Agricultural Residential to BG Business located inside the Growth Overlay District. This is based on Exhibit A, Staff Recommendation Report, dated September 4th, 2025. Exhibit B, Public Hearing Testimony, dated September 4th, 2025, and the findings of fact that A, there are commercial parcels in proximity to the subject site. B, infrastructure is available to serve development of the site. And C, Commercial zoning is compatible with the surrounding area. End of motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. I have a motion. Sarah, call the commission.
Mr. Peterman,
Yes to approve.
Mr. Servon,
Yes to approve.
Mr. Galvry,
Yes to approve.
Mr. Mills,
Yes to approve.
Mr. Davis,
Yes for motion.
Mr. Jester.
Yes to approve.
So you have 6 yeas in favor of recommending approval of ordinance LC 2515.
Thank you very much, and good luck with your project. Next on the agenda tonight is CZ-25-04, George and Amy Lewis. Request to amend the zoning map from BG General Business to AR Agriculture Residential, located outside the Growth Zone Overlay District. Once again, I don't think there was any opposition, so I'll entertain a motion. Mr. Peterman? Mr. Peterman?
Okay. I move that the Regional Planning Commission recommend approval of ordinance LC 25-19, amended zoning map from BG General Business to AR Agriculture Residential located outside the Growth Zone Overlay District. This is based on Exhibit A staff recommendations reported dated September 4, 2025, Exhibit B public hearing testimony dated September 4, 2025, and the findings of the fact that the surrounding area is residential and agriculture in nature. B, the proposed AR zoning is in keeping with the surrounding areas. C, public facilities are adequate to serve the ongoing residential use of the property.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second, and I have a motion. Sarah, call the commission.
Mr. Peterman,
Yes to approve.
Mr. Servon,
Yes to approve.
Mr. Galvry,
Yes to approve.
Mr. Mills,
Yes to approve.
Mr. Davis,
Yes to approve.
Mr. Jester.
Yes to approve.
So you have 6 yeas in favor of recommending approval of ordinance LC 2519.
Thank you very much, and good luck with your project. Third on the agenda tonight is SL-25-03, Gerald Ridge. Request for preliminary approval for 85 single-family lots located inside the Growth Zone Overlay District. I didn't see anything additionally this week. Working with the planners.
The permit from DPNL would be a condition of approval, so they'd have to have that permit before we got final plan.
Okay, then that'll depend on how they treat that second entrance or the emergency entrance, as we called it. So, Gerald Ridge, I need a motion. Any commissioners like to make the motion? Gerald Ridge, number 3, SL 2503. Mr. Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move that the Regional Planning Commission grant conditional approval of application SL-2503, Gerald Ridge, a preliminary plan for 85 lot, single-family residential subdivision located inside the Growth Overlay District. This is based on Exhibit A, staff recommendation report dated September 4th, 2025. Exhibit B, public hearing testimony dated September 4th, 2025. And the findings of fact that A, the site is zone AR, agricultural residential, in which a single-family residential subdivision is a permitted use. B, the application complies with the Kent County Comprehensive Plan, future land use map. C, the applicant agreed to incorporate recommendations 2 and 3 into the final plan. And D, the applicant agreed to petition DelDOT to permit a secondary emergency access pursuant to Chapter 205 of the Kent County Code and pursuant to 9 Delaware Chapter 4802 and 4811. The Commission has reviewed the application, and furthermore, as part of this approval, the applicant shall comply with all the staff and agency requirements and planning staff recommendations as described in September 4th, 2025 staff recommendation report, including but not limited to the following conditions. A, a waiver from 187-58 is requiring street linkage is approval to prevent disturbance of significant natural areas. B, a waiver from 187-79B1 requiring visual screening on residential development when adjoining agricultural properties is approved along with DP&L easement. C, the applicant shall secure a permit from Delmarva Power to install a road across the DP&L easement prior to the plan of approval. End of motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Sarah, call the commission.
Mr. Peterman.
Yes to approve.
Mr. Servon.
Yes to approve.
Mr. Galvary.
Yes to approve.
Mr. Mills.
I'm going to vote no, and I'd like to give a reason why I'm voting no. I have nothing against the developer. I have nothing against the engineers. They did not prove in this development that it's if that's a half a mile where those kids are going to get picked up along the road. I know Mr. Dustin Weller, I read his letter where he proved it. He is approving the road pickup out on the road, not inside the development. And unless those kids are a half a mile greater inside of that development, they're only eligible for pickup along the road.
Mr. Davis.
Yes to approve.
Mr. Jester.
Yes to approve.
So you have 5 ayes, 1 nay in favor of granting conditional approval of application SL 2503.
Thank you very much, and good luck with your project. Next on the agenda, number 4 tonight, is SL-25-04, Ellery Farm. Request for preliminary approval for a 354 single-family lots located inside the growth zone overlay district. If I remember correctly, they did a great design on the school bus design and how they were going to be picked up and altering the road that we asked to be wider. So having gone through all the hoops, I will now entertain a motion. Mr. Glenn?
I move that the Regional Planning Commission grant conditional approval of application SL-25-04 Emery Farms, a preliminary plan for 354-lot single-family residential subdivision located inside the Growth Zone Overlay District. This is based on Exhibit A, Staff Recommendations Report dated September 4, 2025, Exhibit B, Public Hearing Testimony dated September 4, 2025, and the findings of fact that A, the subject site is zoned RM multifamily residential in which a townhouse residential subdivision is permitted use. B, the application complies with the Kent County Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Map. C, the applicant agrees to incorporate recommendations 1 and 3 as well as recommendations 2 with the approval of DELDOT. Pursuant to Chapter 205 in the Kent County Code and pursuant to 9 Delaware C, Subchapter 4802 and 4811, the Commission has reviewed the application, and furthermore, as part of this approval, the applicant shall comply with all staff and agency requirements and the planning staff recommendations as described in September 4, 2025 Staff Recommendations Report, but including but not limited to the following conditions. A waiver from Subchapter 187-58. H, required a street linkage is approved to prevent disturbances. B, a waiver from Subchapter 187-77.d and 187-78b. 2, to permit the walking trail within the wetlands blue line stream buffer.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Sarah, call the commission.
Mr. Peterman.
Yes to approve.
Mr. Servon.
Yes to approve.
Mr. Galvary.
Yes to approve.
Mr. Mills.
Yes to approve.
Mr. Davis.
Yes to approve.
Mr. Jester.
Yes to approve.
So you have 6 yeas in favor of granting conditional approval of application SL 2504.
Thank you for your changes, and good luck with your project. Now going into our 5th and final business for tonight, C-25-01, Hartley, Delaware Solar, request for conditional use approval of a community energy generating facility located outside the growth zone overlay district. I don't think there was any objections, and I went out there today to look at it. And we've done a lot of work in that area in the last few months with the rescue place that we approved and now looking at this. So I'll now entertain a motion. Who would like to make it? Mr. Galvry?
I move that the Regional Planning Commission recommend conditional approval of application C-25-01, community energy generating facility located outside the growth zone overlay district. This is based on Exhibit A, staff recommendations report dated September 4, 2025. Exhibit B, public hearing testimony dated September 4th, 2025, and the findings of fact that A, the subject site is zoned AR, agricultural residential, and subchapter 205-53 permits community energy generating facilities as a conditional use. B, the location is appropriate and not in conflict with the comprehensive plan. C, the public health, safety, and general welfare will not be adversely affected. D, the plan complies with the conditions of subchapter 205-73. Pursuant to chapters 187 and 205 of the Kent County Code and pursuant to 9 Delaware C, subchapter 4802 and 4811, the Commission has reviewed the application and the September 4, 2025 staff recommendation report, and furthermore, as part of this approval, the applicant shall comply with all staff and agency requirements as described in the September 4, 2025 staff recommendation report, including but not limited to the following conditions. A, perimeter fencing of a minimum of 7 feet in height shall be designed to allow small animals and birds to move under and through the fence area. Gates shall be installed on multiple sides of the fenced perimeter to allow egress for deer. B, ground covers shall consist of native pollinative seed mix that includes a variety of herbaceous plants and grasses.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Sarah, call the commission.
Mr. Peterman?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Servon?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Galvry?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Mills?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Davis?
Yes to approve.
Mr. Jester?
Yes to approve.
So you have 6 yeas in favor of recommending conditional approval of application C-2501.
Thank you very much, and good luck with your project. We're now down to public comment. Anybody in the public like to speak? Having not had anybody in public lately, they don't have to be sworn in, do they? Just public comment. So go ahead, sir. If you'd like to give us your name, I'd appreciate that.
Sure. My name is John Nichols. I live in Clayton, Delaware. I'm a native Delawarean. I'm sorry, apparently I missed the September 4th meeting during which more discussion about the solar arrays were offered. But regardless, I'm here and I want to make my case. It is against the public welfare. It's not beneficial to the community at large, and none of these projects should be approved. And if you'll bear with me, I'll explain why. Solar is an intermittent resource. It's not dispatchable. What that means is it feeds into the grid when it's available, and when it's not available, then a reliable source of generation has to provide the electrons. In Delaware, 90% of our electricity comes not from solar, it comes from natural gas. The biggest problem with solar today is that there isn't any way to make it dispatchable. And no matter how many batteries you bring to the market, the amount of capacity that they can hold is very limited. And so if you have multiple sunny days, the amount of demand that you could meet is very small. Because it's not dispatchable and because batteries can't provide the necessary backup, it means that we are subsidizing and paying twice for our electrons. We're paying once for the solar, and then again we're paying for the necessary, in Delaware's case, natural gas to tend it or back it up. That redundancy adds greatly to the cost of electricity. I want to tell you a story. There's corn on the Kent County seal. A local farmer approached me and wanted to know why they couldn't compete with the amount of money that's being offered for solar arrays. So I did a little bit of research, and this is what I learned. The solar purveyors earn per acre of solar deployed $10,000 of revenue from the sale of their electricity per year. They're offering $3,000 to landowners to lease the property. There's no farmer that can pay $3,000 in land lease and continue to farm. So Kent County's agricultural heritage is at risk. Farmers, like the gentleman who approached me and wanted to know why he couldn't compete, are concerned about the future of agriculture in the state. Agriculture still is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, industry in the state of Delaware. These projects, these solar projects, add temporary so-called green jobs, but they displace reliable jobs, unsubsidized jobs. The net effect is, according to the landmark study, which was done in Spain, which was the earliest adopter of so-called renewable energy, for every green job, temporary green job you get from subsidizing, providing public aid for these projects, you lose 2.3 jobs. It's a net job loser. Think about the tractors that don't get purchased, the combines that don't get bought, the seed, the grain, the fertilizer. So when you say it benefits the public welfare, I disagree. Anyone who's read the paper knows that the citizens were up in arms over their increasing cost of electricity. A large part of that has to do with the subsidies that are paid for wind, solar, and another rent seeker in Delaware known as Bloom Energy. At least Bloom Energy, although wildly expensive, they are dispatchable. They do generate electricity most of the time. But when it came to Delaware, the cost per kilowatt for capital cost was 10 times the cost for a natural gas plant. We shouldn't be doing this anymore. Farmers who want to continue to farm are going to be displaced. I do hear from some farmers, well, I understand if they have 50 acres and they want to make a little bit of extra money. But the only reason the extra money is available is because of the massive subsidies. And let me make you aware of some issues that are going to affect these projects. Right now, they're eligible for a 30% investment tax credit. That phases out by 2026. No more investment tax credit. Projects have to begin by the date certain in 2025 or 2026. I can't remember. But regardless, once that date is elapsed and the construction hasn't begun, there's no more 30% investment tax credit. So they're dealing with big headwinds. The other problem is cost of money. Interest rates are still high. So capital costs have gone up. That makes it difficult for these projects to be financed. And lastly, the tariffs that have been levied against Chinese solar panels, and 90% of the solar panels come from communist China, which I don't think we should be sending any money to communist China. They're our adversary. In that instance, we're talking about 50% tariffs. So the reality is these projects going forward, if you choose to approve any more, which you shouldn't for all the aforementioned reasons, these projects should be limited, very limited in their time frame. I would say 6 months, but I guess I'd settle for a year. Right now, I think it extends a year and a half or thereabouts. If I'm wrong, please correct me. It's too long. And again, it's going to lead to ultimately the destruction of agriculture. I know we've got a limit. Thankfully, Kent County Levy Court doesn't allow large industrial solar projects anymore. And the overall amount of land that's going to be sacrificed to these solar purveyors is 1,600 acres. I'm told this project, there aren't any other on the docket going forward. I hope that continues to be the case. And with the reasons I just outlined, I think it will be the case. I'm an advocate for affordable and reliable electricity. I've been doing this for 15 years. This is the last place I want to be this evening. But I look behind me, and aside from the Goldsboroughs, I don't see anybody else here who's concerned about it, but they'll go to Legislative Hall and complain about the rising cost of electricity. Kent County, the counties, Newcastle County, Sussex County, Kent County, are the last barrier that we have to stop bad policies that have been enacted by the General Assembly. So I'm here to ask you, do your research, do your own homework. Don't believe what I've told you. Try to determine that I'm wrong. But if I'm right, then these approvals shouldn't be so perfunctory. You should think more carefully about approving them before you do. I want to thank you, lastly, for the work that you do. I served for a year on the Board of Adjustments. Couldn't remember the name of the organization, entity. And I enjoyed the work. It's thankless in many respects. It's rewarding personally, but I appreciate your public service and what you do. But as a member of the public, I hope you listen to the people who address you. And thank you for giving me the time to make my statement. If you have questions, I'd be happy to answer any.
Yeah, you're really up with your limits. You're allowed 5 minutes when you talk.
Thank
I
you.
think a couple commissioners want to ask you a question.
Sure, please.
Go
I have a
on
hearing
the mic.
impairment. If you'd be kind enough to speak loudly.
Mr. Mills?
Question is, that I had this hit me just here last week. Who benefits from the tax credit? The landowner or the company that's putting in the solar panels?
It depends. If it's a lease arrangement, it's going to be the purveyors, whoever puts the project in.
But the farmer is only leasing the land to that company, same as he would be if he was leasing it to another farmer.
That's correct.
So
And
he's
it-
not benefiting from any of that tax credit.
He doesn't, if the farmer who's leasing the land for the solar panels
Right.
does not get the tax credit. They get the negotiated rent for the lease of the property. From what I've been told, when this started, people were getting $700. Now remember, if I didn't say this, they're getting $10,000. I did say this, $10,000 per deployed acre per year. That is to say, the purveyors. When this originally came to Delaware years ago now, it was about $700 what the offers were, but they continually creep up. Most recently, I've been told that some farmers are being offered as much as $3,000. I'm sorry.
I
Did
think
answer
one
your
of the
question?
other commissioners now has a question for you.
Sure.
Mr. Gauvery?
Yes, sir.
It's just a comment. I respect and appreciate your advocacy on this matter.
I'm sorry, could you,
I respect and appreciate your advocacy on this matter.
thank you.
If you'd been here over the last year or so, you'll realize that we've wrestled with this topic quite often. We've actually managed to improve the situation on the edges because of certain things we are permitted to do. But I'm assuming that you are aware of what we're not allowed to do here.
Well, I know what happened with respect, well, let me back up. My wife was seriously ill. She almost died twice. So I haven't been engaged in public affairs as I'd like to be. So what I do know is the limitation that was placed on the land that could be used. But as far as conditional use changes,
Right.
no. Tell me if there's issues there.
Well, we are obligated to uphold the codes as they're written. We don't have the authority to change them. What we can do and do is listen to the public. And early on, there was quite this room used to be filled with people, farmers, a lot of them on both sides of the issue,
I was
along
here
with a
then.
number of advocates like yourself.
Right.
And as a result of that whole process, we were able to distill down certain things on the edges that we were permitted to change, and we did change them. And as a result of that, the things that moving forward on these projects, they're actually reasonably improved as a result of the work that we were able to do. But in terms of actually disapproving a project that meets the codes, we don't have that authority to do. This isn't the right chamber to get that type of thing done. But I do appreciate your advocacy on that, and I just wanted to let you know that changes have been made. And we aren't really ignorant of what you've been talking about. We've heard it quite a lot over the last year, but we're not the body that can actually make those fundamental changes that has to happen in another place.
I think I have one more commissioner
I'm
who wants to
sorry.
ask you a question.
May I
Because
respond, or would
we're
you
at-
prefer
We're
I
at a
not?
time limit here, so I need, Mr. Servom would like to ask you a question.
Please, sir.
Keep your answers as short as possible.
All right, thank you.
Yes, I was just wondering what your thoughts were on,
Hearing again, please.
what are your thoughts about farmers deciding to lease their land to these companies?
You're talking about a farmer who enters into an
Agreement, so
where
he
they're
can,
going to get the $3,000
yeah,
per year.
so he can keep
per
his
acre.
farm going. A lot of times, it's more productive for him to lease the land to them than to farm it.
It's a land rights issue. What can the farmer do with their own property? I understand that, but We make public use decisions all the time about what's appropriate for Kent County at large. And while the farmer may very well be able to generate $3,000 of rental income, that doesn't mean that the approval of the project should go forth, because the community as a whole suffers. I already outlined some of the reasons regarding the loss of jobs and the loss of agricultural heritage in Kent County, and recognize that the only reason that $3,000 is available is because of the massive subsidies that were available and are diminishing. But one of the subsidies that doesn't go away is the first order of dispatch. They go into the grid immediately, whereas other generators may have to bid into the capacity market, or they sell in the energy markets. That's not true with solar. Solar is a use it or lose it proposition. So it goes into the grid, and it gets whatever it gets at the time at which it sells into the grid. But that's priority. That alone is a subsidy. Without that, solar couldn't exist. It had to happen first. I could tell you about, I've been following this all the way back to when Delmarva and Blue Water Wind were trying to, Delmarva was fighting Blue Water Wind to come ashore, to take the offshore wind and bring it ashore. And Delmarva was saying the same things then that I'm saying now. Nothing's changed. It's intermittent, it's unreliable, it's non-dispatchable, it's expensive, and it's a job killer. Those are the primary reasons I oppose it. And I think you should too.
Is that all you need, Mr. Servon? Short.
What do you think of the, I guess the fact that we have written into these approvals that the land can revert or will revert after the lease is up back to farmland?
Well, he's now deceased, but the former chairperson of the agricultural board, he spoke to that issue, I believe, before this group, definitely before Kent County, whose name escapes me at the moment, I apologize. And he explained how the ground was not going to be fertile, that the cost of bringing it back to a fertile land that could be tilled it would take years, if it could be done at all. So yes, it may revert to that. And I didn't get into the hazardous waste aspects associated with it. All of these solar panels have these PFAS, is what they call them, PFAS, the so-called forever chemicals. They're on them and in them. They put them on the solar panels in order to make them more slippery so that they don't get as dirty and don't have to be cleaned as often. I've asked Levy Court to get Dover to do a study to see what contaminants may have leached into the ground. We have the Dover Solar Park out there, and they wouldn't do it. Just hire somebody. I'm sure we can find the funding.
I'm not going to cut you off, sir, and I
I'm sorry.
understand that. And we do testing for that. In fact, they have to test beforehand, and I think, sir, it's every 5 years
Correct.
and all that. And I think we've had enough conversation. I'm going to say that the option had been when I grew up. I live on a farm. I was a farmer for many years. I had a friend that had a farm, but they went bankrupt. If he had had this option, they might have been able to keep the farm in their lives and had the opportunity to make money on it. But it wasn't there then. It is there now. And I thank you at this time for all your comments, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other comments from the public? Short, please.
Yeah.
5 minutes is what you have.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't have all the knowledge that Mr. Nichols would have, but so real quick, I'm Kevin Goldsboro, a veteran of Afghanistan. I love our country. I love our state. Our farm's a few miles outside of Smyrna. So, for what it's worth, we've seen this a lot as a government handouts and the redistribution of wealth. Referring to your comment about this, being an option, if it's zoned ag conservation or zoned ag residential, there's not really any other options for a farmer to go to keep their head above water financially. it kind of stinks that a lot of options been taken off the table, and then a few years ago this comes up and it's the only option. Our neighbors want to have a rodeo. That was years and years ago. That was denied. That was something that could have supplemented their income. And if those options would be available, they wouldn't be facing this being the only option. As far as the project by Pearson's Corner, I think a legal reason to go against that is actually Terry Pepper referred to this with a project. That it's out of character, the area. The area's pretty agriculturally pristine. It's not a lot of developments in the area. There's a lot of Amish out there, so that goes against their culture. I think for it to be built with solar, denies the Amish economic opportunity to attain that land. That if the Amish would have it, they would definitely stay agriculture. They're not. Actually, friends of mine that are Amish, they told me they made the decision as a community on this. Is they asked themselves, what does God want us to do? Does God want us to continue farming, or does He want us to take this this government handout where we don't have to farm? And there was no disagreement within the community. They knew what God wanted them to do. So I see the mathematics of how it can be tempting in a way. Our farm, we lease it out. We get $175 per crop rotation. It was about 2 months ago. I got an offer in the mail for $3,000 an acre, and so it's just out of a moral standpoint that I would reject that $3,000. I like to work for my money. I don't want to just accept it all, that the money's been printed off or taxed from other people to put in my pocket. But I'll just go back to I think there could be other things available for farmers to go to supplement their income, just something that might take up 5% of the amount of the land. Like my friends that wanted the rodeo, and it was denied. That would give them a lot of wiggle room in maintaining the farming that they're doing. So if there's any questions of me, that's I've spoken my piece.
We thank you for your opinion and appreciate your presentation. Is everybody okay? Need any questions? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Yes, sir. Give us your name. I think Mr. Davis has a comment first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I promise you I'll be brief. My name's Donald Goldsboro.
You have 5 minutes.
Okay, I promise you I'll be brief. I actually know Ted Balboa, go to church with him, talk to him.
Keep the mic as close.
Oh, okay. I know Ted
it.
Balboa, go to church with him, and talk to him in length on Sunday about this project. And I just told him I thought he was making a mistake, that he thinks that this is going to work out financially. But I think, as Mr. Jester, you said, an option that could have saved somebody or whatever. And I kind of think that's what he's planning on. But I really don't believe these solar companies. They get what they can money-wise out of it, and then they get, I think what's going to happen in the short term, they're not going to be there as long as they say they are, and they're going to leave him with a mess that they say they can promise they're going to clean up or whatever, and they go bankrupt and they don't. I just think he's making a mistake, and it's up to him if he wants to make the mistake. I understand. But I think Mr. Garvey was wrong about saying that here's the ordinance, we have to vote on it accordingly, whatever. Because in the case of Goldsboro versus Levy Court, we took it all the way to Delaware Supreme Court, and they said, basically in their ruling, they said it doesn't matter what the ordinance, what the law says, you guys can vote what you like. So it's up to you. Do you like what's happening or you don't? According to Delaware Supreme Court, that's the way you can vote. it doesn't, I don't believe it's true that in our case, I believe it should have been denied under the law, under what was existing under the conservation law. And Delaware Supreme Court said, no, it's whatever you like. You can vote that way. So I just want you to keep that in mind. Is there any questions?
Thank you, sir. I don't see any questions from up here, so thank you for your presentation.
Okay.
I'm now down to commissioner comments. Does anybody have anything to say?
Move to adjourn.
Now I've entertained a motion to adjourn. Make the motion, please.
A second.
I have a motion and a second.
Mr. Peterman,
Mr. Adjourn.
Mr. Servon,
Yes to adjourn.
Mr. Galvry,
Yes to adjourn.
Mr. Mills,
Yes to adjourn.
Mr. Davis,
Yes to adjourn.
Mr. Jester.
Yes to adjourn. Thank you all for coming, and thank you for speaking your minds.